When I tell you I've been thirsty for these receipts.
This is a free call from
Tory?
an inmate at LAPD jail. This call is subject to recording and monitoring. Press 1 to accept the call. To deny this call, thank you for using Telmate.
Hello?
No.
Y'all got out safe and everything?
Huh?
Y'all got out and everything, y'all good?
Maybe still in the hospital. I'm outside the hospital.
What hospital y'all at?
About what?
You said what?
You're listening to Street TV.
I said Megan's in the hospital still. I'm outside the hospital waiting.
What hospital are you at?
I don't know. Let me see. Feeder, something like that. Feeder.
Yo, bro.
Y'all don't understand. Like, when you have receipts, when you have evidence, when you have proof to back up your opinions are way stronger.
Sure.
Regardless, I know she probably never ever gonna talk to me ever again, but bruh, I just want you to know, bruh. Nigga, I was just so fucking drunk, nigga. I didn't even know what the fuck was going on, bro. That ass. I didn't even know what the fuck was going on, bro. Like, that ass, nigga. I'd never do some shit like that, bro. Just that, nigga, I was so fucking drunk, nigga. I just didn't even understand what the fuck was going on, bro. Like, so, whatever,
Yeah.
bro. But, you know, regardless, that's not gonna make anything right. And that's not gonna make my actions right, bro. But I'm just deeply sorry, bro. I never even moved like that, bro. Like, never moved like that at all, bro. Like, for real, dog.
I know. There's a lot that happens, but
a whole lot, bro. Like, a whole lot, bro. I feel crazy, bro. But in this state, like.
And to any person out here that's thinking about doing commentary, starting a podcast, and you want to be professional, right? You either are unbiased until you can get receipts to back up your opinion, but you have to remain unbiased, because if you don't remain unbiased, then when you could get sued, that's number one. You can get sued for so many different reasons. I'm not going to get into the different lawsuits that you can face, but you can get sued. But then also, like, you will be seen as uncredited. So, like, a lot of people are not going to run to you to get facts because you don't offer that. You have an unbiased approach when it comes to your opinion. So you always have to keep that in mind.
This nigga, bro, you get a chance, bro, just figure out what you got to do to bail me out this shit.
okay.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate it. I'm sorry again, bro. Like,
I think honestly, I think we're gonna try to, because obviously, like, the longer you're in there, the more hot it's gonna get. Because you know it's already on. Like, there's no names released yet, but the report is already out. You know.
But like, so, out is what? What you mean out?
It's on some app. You know, Megan's team is on top of this. So,
yeah, but like, niggas don't. There's no way that Megan's on like the thing.
No, what'd you say?
There's no way that Megan's like on the thing.
You're listening to Street TV.
No. So far, none of that is there. But I mean,
yeah, I don't think it's gonna be one of those. If anything, the only nigga that's gonna get this backlash is me. It's not gonna be her.
When the trial was going on, though, it's very clear, though, there was a lot of manipulation. Transcripts were being manipulated. People coming online saying that the transcripts that they were reading from, hell, well, where they get the transcripts from? When I started picking up on the fact that people were manipulating this trial, I stopped posting about it, because you didn't know who was who. Like, you didn't know whose team. And it's not about whose team, but the team that I'm on is the team of integrity. It's not the team of Kelsey, the team of Tory, team of blah, blah, blah. It's about the team of integrity. And it just seems like you didn't know if people were being truthful, if they were being honest about what they were hearing in court. You couldn't tell if they were being honest about the transcripts that they were reading and things like that. You really couldn't tell during this time. But now that the public has access to the evidence that was, of course, being handed out or people were able to listen to in court, it's like, okay, now we can actually form a real opinion regarding this trial and regarding this case and regarding what happened that night. And this is my thing. People felt like I was siding with Tory, and I'm just like, I don't see how. And then this is my thing. I didn't agree with people automatically accusing Kelsey of doing the shooting either. I just didn't get that. I didn't get that. And the reason was because I had this thought process of, well, maybe Kelsey pleaded the fifth to protect herself because she knew Tory was going to pin, or Tory's defense team was going to try to pin this on her. And lo and behold, that's what they tried to do. And so people are like speculating, like, oh, like it seems like Kelsey may have done it. And I'm like, that just don't sound right to me. It didn't sound right to me. So again, me taking an unbiased approach.
But
yeah,
but
I'll let you know.
Alright, it is what it is. Regardless if I get out of here today or not, bro, I just want to let y'all know, bro. I'm sorry, bro. Like, I never did that shit if I wasn't that drunk, bro. Like, you feel me?
Yeah.
You have 1 minute remaining for this call.
Get out of here, you heard?
You're listening to Street TV.
I can't hear you. What you say?
Yeah,
Hello?
So I'm glad the truth is out. The truth basically just goes to show that there was a lot of manipulation to the public, whether people want to admit it or not. To anybody that was out here saying Kelsey may have done it, even if you delusionally was doubting Tory, and I have to say delusionally doubting Tory, I'm not going to judge you for that. I'm not, because you were manipulated. But if you still saying it, with all the information that is out now to the public, if you are still saying it, something is seriously wrong with you. Something is seriously wrong with you. Something ain't right up there. Now, before, I could give you grace because we didn't have access to a lot of information. But now we have access to a lot of information. If you are still doubting this man, or if you're wanting to pin this on a woman, something is seriously wrong with you. Seek help. And I mean that. Wholeheartedly, because something is seriously wrong with you. With all the evidence and information that has came out, whether you are looking for the truth or you're looking for someone to fit your narration, the truth is the truth. Like, it's not going to change. We got audio, we got video, we got a doctor's report. Then we also got a screenshot of how he responded to that meme. What else do you like? What else do you need?
There is a woman who sounds like she's being hurt. It's definitely a domestic disturbance of some kind, and I know there have been a lot of fireworks going off, but these really sounded like gunshots, and I do actually know what gunshots sound like.
04, 26, and 20.
It's in Nichols Canyon, but it is north of me. And I guarantee if your officers just drive into Nichols Canyon, they're gonna hear it.
Okay, so am I sending to your address or seconds?
No, do not send cops to my address.
Okay, so I need an address or a cross street?
Well, it's
Seriously, I mean, come on, man.
Yes, absolutely.
You're listening to Street TV.
Okay, well, as I said, it's in Nichols Canyon, and I can hear it. I don't know exactly what house it's coming from. Nichols Canyon and Courtney Avenue. It's north of that.
Okay, how many gunshots did you hear?
There were probably, I'm going to say 5.
Okay, and then you heard a female screaming?
Yeah, immediately after that, as soon as that happened, there was all kinds of shouting. The woman was definitely louder. There was at least one male also, and it continued for, like a minute and a half or so, and then I thought, well, I think she's being hurt. I need to call somebody.
Okay. Do you know if any, did you hear any cars driving away?
No.
Okay.
But it was really loud. It's like, you know, I don't know if they were in the street, if it was homeless people in the street, or I don't know what.
2020.
You're listening to Street TV.
4:28 and 01 seconds.
There's anybody that was actually shot?
Oh, I have no idea.
Okay.
Then we had the witness, which that I'm not gonna lie, that witness that came forward based off of the reporting was confusing. It was confusing. And I have to say the witness based off of the reporting was confusing.
Better than TV. Hollywood writers can't make this stuff up. Wait until you hear what the eyewitness testimony was this morning at the Tory Lanez. They asked Mr. Kelly, do you know why you're here? He said, absolutely. The defense attorney put up a picture of the back of his home. You could see a driveway. They had him draw a square where the SUV was parked. It was right on the curb of the back of his house, 10, 15 feet. His window is overlooking it. He stepped out onto his Juliet balcony and he watched for several minutes as Meg the Stallion and Kelsey, the two females, he didn't identify them by name, got out of the car and they were engaged in a fight. It was violent. It was quite aggressive. It started with arguing that woke him up in the middle of the night. Where his house is, often him and his son are woken up in the middle of the night by people who stop in and around the back of his home. This was another night, arguing, escalation, two women fighting. He watched the whole thing while standing on his balcony. Oh my God, it gets crazier. As he looked down on a fight that he described as quite violent, he then saw the larger gentleman, this is presumably the security guard Quan, come and violently try to separate them. Eventually, all four were involved in what he called an aggressive, everyone fighting, essentially just a melee, a free-for-all between four people in the middle of the night, right outside of his back window. He said at one point he saw one woman go back towards into the car. At that point, he saw a muzzle flash. Then he said there was a man, and after the first few shots from the woman came off, he saw the man getting involved with the woman and more shots went off. On cross-examination, the prosecutor asked him, did you see the man shoot? He said, yes, I saw the shorter man with a gun shooting violently in the air at least 5 times. Okay, wait, what? That's not what you just testified. Then the defense attorney went back and asked him, I thought you said you saw the woman and then you saw the man shoot. And he's like, yeah, you have to understand. It was just a crazy free-for-all and it all happened very quickly. And then he said the most shocking thing that has come out in this case, which is that after the shots went off, one woman crawled further away, that the 3 people then went over there and beat her violently while she was on the ground. They picked her up. They looked like they were going to drag her and throw her into the river. Instead, they dragged her across the street, put her in the car, and drove off. The prosecution, we're on lunch, the prosecution is going to come back, and basically they're trying to build the case that this witness is lying because he's intimidated by the defense, that he never said anything about the muzzle flash going off near Kelsey, and now he's saying all this because he's scared of telling the truth. We'll see how that comes out on direct. Here's a fact, though. He has been consistent about a couple things. One, the 2 women were outside that car fighting for several minutes, escalated, started with an argument, then it got quite violent and the security guard came out to try to separate them. The idea that the jury would credit Meg's testimony, which is just completely contradicted by this eyewitness, is highly unlikely. The prosecution has major work to do to save their case, which is absolutely on life support right now.
We didn't get to hear the witness for ourselves, and that's another thing that was so hard regarding this trial. Shout out to the YouTubers out here that really do have integrity. Nick at Night, Armand Wiggins, they went to the courthouse. They decided to go to the courthouse. Those are 2 YouTubers that really stuck out to me regarding this situation about the truth. Not about taking sides, not about taking teams, took an unbiased approach. Like Nick at Night, she did a good job, in my opinion. That's my opinion. It's hard, you guys, like, no, I like anyone that's a real journalist. If it was me and I was in the same city or the same state as the trial, I would have went. If I could get access, if I could have been there, I would have been there. And the reason why I say that is because that's the only way you're truly going to know through and through the truth so that you can form an accurate opinion on what actually happened. You know, there's still a lot of questions that I have that haven't been answered, in my opinion. Like, there's still so many questions that I have. Like, because Kelsey showed up for Megan at the hospital, and it was clear that there may have been friction between them, you know, knowing the truth about who slept with who or whatever like that, but she still showed up for her. So what happened from her showing up to the hospital that night to see about her friend versus what happened after she went home? Like, what happened? And I told you guys, like, it was so weird. I felt like Tory didn't handle the situation right. Like, if you know you did something like that, why are you bullying this girl? And why are you doing all of this weird stuff on the internet? And then Megan turned around and did the same thing to Kelsey. And that's what made me feel like Kelsey was pleading the fifth and kept making these comments like, well, I don't recall, I don't remember. And I felt like she was trying to get back at Megan by doing that.
They just started hitting each other with their careers as an artist. So now we're at the final, you know, the next stop where the incident occurs. And this time Tory demands Quan to let us out. He's like, let these hoes out, let these bitches out the car. This is my car. And so we're like, okay. Like, okay, we'll get out. So he pulled the car over, and everything here transpires. Megan jumps out of her seat, which is the front seat. I open up my door, which I'm behind Megan. And when you're getting out of a vehicle, you're not really just like looking at any direction. You're just kind of getting out the vehicle, you know. Especially, we didn't expect anything to happen next, so we're just getting out the vehicle. I get out of my side, and you know,
on the passenger side
are open. Correct. So,
and is he shooting through the window or over the top of the door?
No, he's shooting over the top of the door. So
over the top of the door would be the rear passenger door?
The right front passenger. So, again, as I said, he must have jumped, or I don't know how he did it because it was very small. I mean, very smooth. And he was leaning over the front passenger door, and you know she was shooting the gun.
Where were you standing at this point?
At this point, I'm standing kind of like my body's still like to the side behind the door, the rear passenger door. So I would say like my left side was the rear passenger, and my right side was kind of like this. Like this is the door, and I'm.
Are you still partially in the car at this point?
No, I'm out of the vehicle. Okay. I'm out of the vehicle. I'm just not around my door yet.
Yeah.
So
where's Megan?
So I was about to speak on Megan. So she was walking away when this happened, but by the third, fourth shot, and by the time I look up, she's facing towards us, and I've described it like a deer in headlights. Mm-hmm. I'm short. I'm 4'11". The vehicle is kind of a little raised up, higher than me, so I can't really see. I can only see from her chest up. That's all I can see. But the way Tory was angling the gun is kind of like, it wasn't like straight. It was like, down. Mm-hmm.
It was down in her direction?
Definitely in her direction. In the air, definitely in her direction. So at that point, we kind of were in shock, Did
you hear him say anything as he was shooting?
He did not say anything.
Okay.
There was no words at that point,
What was Quan doing? Could you tell?
I think everybody was in shock.
Okay, so he wasn't part of it.
Right here, at this point right here, he wasn't part of this. What I'm about to get into next, I can't tell you guys where Tory pulled the gun from. Like I said, the motion when he first threatened me was middle console, but I don't know if that's where the gun was.
But you had said he referenced like shooting y'all earlier while you're in the car, right?
He threatened to shoot me.
As if he had a gun
in
his control somewhere.
Correct.
Okay.
And so after the shots rang, it was like I said, 5 shots. We kind of froze, and by the time I get back into I snapped. Megan had either crawled or walked or limped over to, she's in a driveway. She's in a driveway on the side of the driver's side. She's in a driveway. Tory sits down.
In the front passenger seat?
In the front passenger seat.
Okay.
He's sitting. I guess just kind of shocked also. So I run over to her. I immediately ran to her. You know, she's the forefront of my thoughts. My job as a friend in general is just like naturally is to protect my friend, protect. So now I'm in defense mode on the behalf of Megan. I ran to her. She's on the floor. I never looked at her feet. I never really just got to look at her. I just know when I ran to her and she grabbed me, she had blood. So in my head, she had got shot because shots just went off and she's bleeding. That's what I think. So I see Tory coming around the vehicle. It's dark. Lights are flat, hitting him. It's almost like a scary scene. So again, I'm in defense mode. I see him coming around the vehicle, and in my head, I'm thinking he's about to come over here and attack us.
Do you see whether or not when he's coming around the vehicle if he still has the gun?
I don't believe he had the gun.
And then Tory, same thing. Like, he was bullying Megan, trying to get her to change her story, was trying to get the public's opinion to basically, I guess, intimidate her and stuff like that.
Oh, so worry about it. Yes, this Tory shot me. You shot me. And you got your publicists and your people going to these blogs lying and shit. Stop lying. Why lie? I don't understand. I tried to keep the situation off the internet, but you dragging it. You really dragging it. I hit this. I never hit you. It was like, oh, she mad because he was trying to fuck with Kylie. No, I wasn't. Like, you dry shot me. Like, everybody in the car, it's only 4 in the car. Me, you, my homegirl, and your security.
There's still a lot of unanswered questions for me. Meg started bashing Kelsey and her friends turned on Kelsey. Meg is effed up. Nobody wants to acknowledge that part though. And I don't know why. Because it doesn't change the fact that she shouldn't have been shot.
You made me your enemy. I have every right to get on here and address this. Because you made a diss track for millions of people to hear trying to humiliate me. And I'm not hurt by the comments. I'm not hurt by any of that. But when it's coming from somebody that you really know, that's the problem. And Megan, I know you. We know each other. I know you like the back of my hand. So I don't know why you playing with me.
But it would explain why Kelsey just all of a sudden just separated herself from Megan like she did. But she didn't do it right after the incident. She did it after a lot of stuff happened online.
I mean, the truth is, I mean, in your song, I think you said, I want the niggas, I want the, I don't know what the, I want the niggas you got or some shit. We all know that I ain't never wanted none of your niggas. It was really, come to find out, your ass was with behind my back that I was on first. And that ain't right, because you supposed to be my best, you supposed to be my best friend. We laugh at that do that to each other. We not supposed to do that to each other. So stop playing with me. And I don't want to go back and forth on the internet. I don't want to know it. I don't care whatever you think you got on me. Expose this shit. Because there's nothing that you can expose that I won't hold myself accountable for. Accountability. You need to learn how to hold yourself accountable for shit.
And I think that's something that needs to be included in this situation. And the reason why I feel like that information needs to be included simply because a lot of people are trying to run with the narrative that Kelsey is the shooter, but I don't believe that. Because why would the shooter go to the hospital? Why would the shooter go to the hospital right after? So that needs to be included. And it's like, this is my thing. This is what really pissed me off about this trial and people that wanted you to pick teams and stuff like that. It never made sense to me. Because as soon as you pick teams, you are liable for accusing an innocent person like Kelsey. Like, I don't think she did anything. I could see them cussing. I could see them even getting into a physical altercation. But Kelsey shooting her, like, y'all doing too much. So I don't know. I don't even think Kelsey did this for her man. I don't think Kelsey did this for her man. I think Kelsey did this for herself. I think Kelsey pleaded the fifth again because she knew she had a legal team as well when it came to this trial. A legal team advising her on how she should testify, preparing her to testify. She had a legal team as well. I can see her legal team saying, hey, there is a possibility that the defense could pin this on you because there's only 3 of them. Megan couldn't have shot herself, so you could easily be accused of something that you didn't do. So I think her only way of truly protecting herself fully was by pleading the fifth. Think about it. Like, if she wouldn't have pled the fifth, y'all over here accusing her all up and down the timeline, what do you think would have happened in the courtroom? I don't know about him paying for her legal team. I don't know anything about that. And then, is that true? Where did you get that from? That's what I'm saying. Like, a lot of information being spread, a lot of false information being spread. Where did you get that Tory paid for her legal team? Why wouldn't her husband pay for her legal team? If that's my man would be paying for my legal fees. My legal team, whatever I needed. Yeah, she could have just repeated her September testimony. She could have. And see, that's another thing. It's like, was Kelsey in on trying to prove reasonable doubt? Could she have been in on that? Like, her job was just to prove reasonable doubt, and that's why she didn't give her testimony that she gave, the same testimony that she gave back in September. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's so many holes in this situation. I have no idea why they left out the violent altercation. Megan and Kelsey left that out. I don't know why they left out that they got into a fight. I don't know why they did that. That's another question that I have. I have no idea. It doesn't make sense. I do remember Tory offering Meg $1 million to be quiet. I do remember that. And I believe that because that was said when the incident first happened. I actually personally believe more of what happened prior to this trial because I just felt like the trial was manipulated. And it was very clear people were choosing sides and choosing teams. But back when this incident first happened, like if you go back and you watch some of the lives that Megan did, if you go back and listen to the things that she was saying, Kelsey was saying, Tory was responding to on the internet and things like that, I think more of the truth came out during that time than during this trial. So much happened on the internet to where people started picking sides, people started choosing teams because people's egos were involved. Let's just be clear. Like, the trial was manipulated. But when the situation first happened, I felt like we got more honesty from all three, in my opinion. But when the trial took place, there was just a lot of manipulation, a lot of planning. You could tell that people were just trying to go off of what could be proved and not what was the actual truth of what happened that night. And so it really turned me off from the situation. It really turned me off from the trial in itself because you didn't know who had integrity and who didn't. Per listening to blogs instead of reading transcripts. Not everybody, this is my thing. How can you get access to the transcripts? They hadn't even been, and this is my thing. I had to start questioning where these transcripts were coming from and who was able to get access to them and how. How were you able to get access to them? That's what I thought. I'm like, not everyone can get access to the transcripts. And then even if you got access to them, you probably still needed a lawyer to like go over it with you to explain to you the verbiage, because it's the public can have access to it, but who gonna have the intelligence to read it publicly? It's not public record. It wasn't during the trial. They wasn't gonna make that public. You had to have special access, legal access. They weren't gonna allow that. And that's why I started questioning people that were reading the transcripts. I had to start questioning, where did you get it from? Like, So people had an issue with me posting that white male lawyer or whatever, but he was consistent. Like, he was consistent with his reporting. He was going to court, right? And I'm thinking, okay, you work for the public. You need to be unbiased. You work for the public. You're not supposed to be biased. Then there was a black woman. So I'm like, okay, y'all taking issue with the white male lawyer. Got it. Let me use somebody else. So then I decided to use this black woman. And at the time, there was so much conflicting information. You didn't know what to believe. Because during this time, I'm like, well, hell, Tory could have done it. Kelsey could have done it. You know, it was like 50-50 in my mind because there was so much conflicting information. And I don't have access to the transcripts. I don't have access to the courtroom. I don't have access to what's going on. So it's like you had to go off of third parties. But you couldn't tell who had integrity. I'm assuming that if you work for the public, you should have integrity. You should not be biased. You work for the public. But I don't know. Like, I started questioning. Oh, I started to notice that. Like, the black woman was definitely Team Tory. I don't know that woman. That was the first time I ever came across her. I'm thinking, okay, from black woman to black woman, you're going to be unbiased in this situation. You're going to report with integrity, seeing how you work for the public. But no, she was, when I saw the video clip of Tory's dad, both of those black women, two of them, the two women that I brought on my platform and shared their reporting of what happened in court that day, those two black women were standing right behind Tory's dad.
You want to know exactly how I'm feeling? Yes, sir. I just stood here in this Los Angeles County and witnessed the worst miscarriage of justice that this world has ever seen. Yes. You want to know how I feel? I'll tell you exactly how I feel. I got some names that I want to call. Alex Spiro, Desiree Perez, and the whole wicked system of Rock Nation, including you, Jay-Z. Yes. Yes. You who say you rose from the gutter, but you have traded and bartered the souls of young men, and you're still doing it. Amen. The only independent witness in this courtroom is a man whose name is Sean Kelly. He came to court, and our attorneys, he would not even shake their hand after he went upstairs with Kathy Tarr and Alex Bart.
They met on Saturday before. They met
with our witness. And then the man came back, and I sat in the hallway while he sat with Jody Little, the prosecutor's investigator, who acted so dumb, an intelligent woman who did not want... Listen, I've seen so much evidence buried in this, and I know exactly what the public out here will say. Don't talk. You will say, I say this because I'm a father. See, I am a father of thousands around the world. I'm a father of my kids, but a spiritual father to many. And I don't make stupid allegations because I got nothing better to do. You all have been bartering and trading the souls of young black and brown men in this country. And I'm calling on all the umbrellas. I'm calling on everybody in this country to begin to rise up because your sons have been done dirty. It's not over. God does not lose. Never. And even though we have come to this juncture, trust me, you will see that our God does not fail.
This is not the
I know that this is wickedness. Right. This district attorney, Miss Kathy Tarr, is the same one that witnessed or knew that 5 sheriff's deputies in LA County beat up a Spanish man with the last name Carrillo until the guy was beaten to and passed out. ABC News interviewed that man after Eyewitness News, and he said, I thought I would never be here to see my child born, and I would never been able to be around to see my other child rise up. But I'm telling you, this court system is not for justice. It's about wins and losses, and they do dirty to do whatever they can. Jay-Z, let me speak to you.
He has kids.
Let me talk to you. Yes. Because my son refused to sign a Rock Nation deal with you.
Yes.
And Desiree Perez, you wicked witch, you snitch.
Yes.
You turned on your co-conspirators, all the whole mafia, one of you that was peddling drugs in this country, and you rolled on them before so the Fed could give you a deal.
Now you think
All of you, trust me, I have intercessors, prayer warriors around the world, and they will not stop until you are cut off.
Yes.
No, we don't shoot you with guns, but we know exactly how to bring you down in the spirit.
They all have children.
Enough
They
said.
all have children.
It's all
Let's
done.
sing.
Let's go.
Open way, open way, open way, guys. Open up, open up, open up, open up, open up, open up. This way, open up.
With my brother's reputation.
Liars.
Watch your step.
Right here.
Mike.
And that's when I found out, like, oh, so you've been Team Tory this whole time. As a blogger, I will never do this again. Never. Like, my lesson in this for me was, if I can't be there and be in the room for a trial like this regarding celebrities, then I just won't report on it. Like, I'm never doing this again. I swear to God. Never doing this again. Never doing this again, ever in my life. If I'm not there, I cannot report on it. I cannot read the transcripts for myself. I'm not doing this ever again in my life. I swear to God. You only got to teach me once. And I tell y'all that all the time. It's okay for you to go out here and it's okay for you to make mistakes, right? But you got to learn from them. I will never do this ever again in my life. I swear to God, it ain't worth it. If I cannot go there and listen to the testimonies, listen to what's going on, I just won't report on it. It's not worth it. You're liable for so many different things. And it's like, if I'm really going to put my brand on the line, I want to be there. And I want to be confident in my reportings. Otherwise, I ain't doing it. Never doing this ever again. And the only way I could see myself doing this is if this trial was like televised and it was open to the public and we could all, you know, watch it at the same time, and then I could give my commentary on what was said, what was done. But like the way this whole thing was done was just messy, y'all. It was very messy. It was very messy. You're supposed to report on things and report from all angles, and then once you do that, then you can give your opinion. And then also when it comes to being a blogger, it's easier to give your opinion when you have facts to back up your opinion. It's harder. Your opinion is not going to hold much weight when you just going off of what you think happened or what may have happened. You need receipts to back up your claims. Like, you can't just say, oh, this is what happened, or I think this is what happened. Okay, well, what receipts do you have to back up that opinion? You got to go off the facts. Like, you can't just leave out certain information. I got a DM the other day. First of all, I got a tweet. Then I got a DM the other day. People felt like I turned my back on Megan, and then some other girl or some other person, all from fake pages, so who knows. Okay, let me read this. Okay. Somebody tweeted, because I posted, and this is my thing. This is what happens when you're a blogger and you have an open mind. Somebody's saying, what did I miss? Okay, so I posted Danny Lay's surgery. Okay. Now, am I posting Danny Lay's surgery to praise this girl? Like, no, I'm posting it because I want you guys to see what I'm talking about when it comes to getting plastic surgery to level up your life. There are girls out here getting plastic surgery that are not leveling up their life because they're getting the type of plastic surgery that is just, it's not going to do that, sweetie. You're going to attract the wrong type of man. Danny Lay got the type of surgery that would attract the right type of man. Okay, because she didn't overdo it. It looks good. It looks natural. She looks fabulous, right? So I posted that because I wanted you guys to see what I'm talking about when it comes to plastic surgery. But this person wrote and said, but you don't mess with hoes. No, I don't. I don't have whole friends, y'all. And why are people so offended by this? You publicly shame a black woman victim of gun violence for her personal sex life. Then turn around and praise whole black woman predator Danny for her body. This is a black male worship at its finest. Don't mess with hoes question. How many bodies does your brother have? Why y'all bring my brother into this? Or does that only go for women hoes, not men? This is my thing. And a lot of y'all gonna get offended by this. A hoe is a hoe. It doesn't matter what the gender is. A hoe is messy. I told y'all what a hoe is. A hoe is a person that lacks integrity when it comes to their sex life. So I triggered people when I said that I don't do hoe friends, but I meant what I said, and I will say it again. I don't do hoe friends, but hear me out. So a hoe to me is a woman that lacks integrity when it comes to her sex life. She will sleep with my man, your man, and the next girl's man. She will sleep with your husband, sis, and the next girl's husband. So then while we out at brunch, a girl that she know because she slept with her man, and then the girl know about it. And so now I got to take off my wig. I got to remove my earrings. I got to take off my heels because now I got to have my friends back. Ain't nobody got time for that. I don't do drama. So a hoe to me is a woman that lacks integrity. We're not talking about, oh, a woman has so many body counts, and we're not talking about that. Like, that's high school. We grown women. I don't do hoes. Women who lack integrity when it comes to their sex life. Y'all will sit up here, and this is what I be talking about. Y'all will sit up here and bash these men all day. But community D is the same as community P. There's no difference. So what are you talking about? And it's like a lot of women get triggered because you cannot handle accountability. If you're being messy in your sex life, that's what hoes do. Hooking up and being casual, that's not a hoe to me. Like, are we really doing this? Body counts after a certain age is childish. But when you're the type of person where you're messy, like you out, like men, community D, messy. He's out here dealing with this girl, this girl, this girl. He not communicating. He not telling the other girl about this girl, this girl. It's messy. It's messy. Real adults are very open and honest with communication. First of all, so people that are involved can get tested so that they can take care of their health, their sexual health, and everything like that. It's very childish. Like, I don't get it. Like, that's what a hoe is. Y'all going off of what some man done told you what a hoe is. That's not my problem. That's a you problem. You need to decenter men from your life. Me, I decided to recreate the definition of what a hoe is, especially at my big age. Body count don't matter. How many people you've been with at 30? Are you serious? Like, we 30. None of that matters. It's about having integrity when it comes to your sex life. If you're going to partake in casual sex, communicate. You should be letting all parties involved knowing who you're dealing with. For Megan to do what she did, a lot of y'all don't want to admit what she did is wrong, and I don't understand why. Why is it so hard for you to admit that what she did was just dead ass wrong? It was dead ass wrong. I want you to be Kelsey, and I want that to happen to you and see how you feel. Like, y'all just dismissing, and this is the thing with y'all doing that. Y'all dismissing how Megan didn't protect Kelsey. She didn't care how Kelsey felt about what she did. She just did her. And listen, this is me being unbiased. I can understand how Megan made a mistake. She had bad judgment. The girl was grieving. She was grieving. Like I said, I don't know what it's like to lose a mother. I don't even know what it's like to grieve a mother. I don't know what it's like to grieve a mother during the height of the pandemic. I don't know what it's like to grieve a mother and you're around all of these people. Clearly they not for you, because after all of this came out, she was around a lot of fake people that were just trying to be around her because she was hot at the time. So it's like, I don't understand that. Like, exactly, there is no perfect victim. So acknowledging the fact that she did what she did while still being a victim, it shouldn't matter. So it doesn't matter if we're speaking about it. It's not going to change how I view her. Now, if I was sitting up here saying some stuff, Megan's not innocent, she deserved what she got. I ain't say said no stupid stuff like that. I can acknowledge the fact that what she did was wrong while still acknowledging the fact that she's a victim. I don't get that. I don't. But y'all want me to sit up here and not acknowledge that. How is that being unbiased? How? Like I said, there could be 100 truths at once, but black people feel like there can only be one. There can only be one narration. No, like this is life. Life has so many different levels. Life has so many different colors. Y'all all trying to be like black and white. Life is so much more than black and white. It is. And you know what's really sad about this situation is like, okay, the situation happened, right? Megan and Kelsey should have came together. Like all bets should have been off. My friend got shot. All bets are off. And I think that's what happened in the beginning with Kelsey. And that's why she showed up to the hospital. But something happened from that night to Kelsey going back home to Houston. Something happened between them. And I'm pretty sure it was petty. I'm pretty sure it was catty. I'm pretty sure it was something that was just, they should have moved past, in my opinion. In my opinion. I don't know what it was. I don't know what it could have been. But it just felt like that shouldn't have been, like y'all should have came together. Two black women should have came together. Y'all should have had each other's back. Why are we not talking about that? Y'all and then y'all still choosing sides. I don't get that. I don't get that, y'all. And I feel like I live in the worst times because everything is so black and white. You gotta pick a side. You gotta pick a team. And that's it. The only team I will ever be on is the truth. Like, the truth. I like receipts. I like evidence. I like hearing the truth. And that may mean I got to listen to 3 stories in this case. And to be honest, I think we listened to how many different stories, right? Because there were like 4 truths in this. Kelsey, Megan, Tory, the witness. We didn't even get to listen to the other 2 truths that were in this situation, like the driver, Megan's security guard. People don't want to acknowledge that though. But then also people lying. Too many people lied for me. I don't know who this girl was, but she says, I peeped some black YouTubers really set on Beyonce's internet and shamed Megan because she wasn't the perfect victim. I really want somebody to send me the timestamp where I shamed this girl. That don't even sound like me. And another tip, if you are going to do podcasts, if you are going to do anything that pertains to putting your opinions out here, please know who you are. No, you got to know who you are through and through. I don't shame people. I don't shame people. I don't even shame people when I'm mad. I don't even call people out their name when I'm upset. I have a lot of patience. And people know that. So this is weird to me. Like, I don't know. And people will take one thing that they don't agree with and run with it and turn it into something that you never said, something that you never did. And that's crazy to me because you don't fully agree. And that's fair. You don't have to fully agree with me. I think that's weird. I think you not fully agreeing makes you an individual. But to say I shame this girl, that's crazy. When I said I don't do whole friends, that was a general statement. I don't. Taking accountability too looks like prime example was when I went to therapy for my sexual assault, I had to own up to the fact that I was hanging around people I shouldn't have been. That's just me taking accountability. Why did I need to take accountability? Because I didn't need to go hang back out with the wrong people again. You get what I'm saying? Like, when you are a victim, and this is the thing, you can be a victim of what happened and stay there, or you can be a victim and move forward. So, okay, I didn't want to stay a victim. Staying a victim would have meant like, okay, whatever happened to me, and then I went back and hung around those same people knowing what happened to me. And that's why you have to take accountability even when you're a victim, because it's gonna help you choose and make better decisions and choices. It's not about blame. It's about self-awareness. And so many people feel like that's shaming or that's blaming, but it's really not. It's you coming to the realization that I don't want that to happen to me again. Let me ensure I'm surrounding myself around the right people, because if I would have been around better people, it could have prevented the situation from happening, possibly, or someone could have came through and said, hey, I'm gonna look after her. She popped pills, because that's what I did during this time. And I can own that shit, though. I'm not gonna hide it from you. I popped pills. I was popping, hell, I don't know what I popped. I popped some pill, y'all. And I was at a very dark place in my life where I wanted to feel numb. I didn't want to live. That was my mindset. I wanted to feel numb and I did not want to live. Two things. And this is why when it comes to me learning the truth about Megan, it's like, okay, like she did what she did. As long as she's owning up to that part of the situation, I'm not going to be mad at her. Like, I'm not going to be like, she deserved what she got. I didn't deserve what I got. Like, that's weird. But I can still acknowledge where I put myself in a bad situation and I should have been hanging around better quality people. But it's like people don't want to own that. They don't want to admit that, because they feel like by admitting that, you deserve what happened. No, you didn't. You didn't deserve what happened. You just didn't. So that's my story. So I could relate to this situation, but in no way did I ever have the mentality that Megan deserved what she got because of what she did. Like, y'all, I can see somebody getting cussed out. But a man pulling a gun out on a woman, I don't see how that's ever justified. Like, that's crazy, y'all. And there are men out here trying to justify that. Like, a man pulling a gun out on a woman? How? How can you justify that at all? She was defenseless in a bikini. She didn't have nothing on her. Nothing. EJ said between 7 of them, they drank about 6 to 7 bottles. And then this is another thing. I'm going to be real with y'all. I'm not for EJ's testimony. Because after what he pulled on social media, I started looking at him a little differently. I started looking at him like maybe he was paid to do this testimony in court, because he was just doing a lot. But she need to, and that's what I'm saying, like, she need to change her whole social circle. But it looks like she's already done that. Megan, and this is another thing. Megan has lost weight. It seems like she has stopped drinking. It seems like she has really, like, changed her life around from the situation. And it's like, I don't even think she's getting enough credit for that. She looks like she's doing better in life, in my opinion. But I don't follow her. I don't follow her on Instagram. I don't, like, keep up with her on her stories or anything like that. But it just seems like she has done a 360 within her life, though. But I would expect so, because she was grieving during that time. So I don't know, y'all. Yeah, like, EJ, I just didn't like, I mean, his testimony is his testimony. What made me question his integrity was just the whole, just all of what he was doing was just too much for me. It's like, it just seemed like he really did everything for attention. He was milking it, you know, like this was like his 5 minutes of fame or something like that. That's what I got from EJ. And so, again, I don't know nothing about EJ. I don't, but some people are saying he was the only credible witness. But after all of what he was doing on social media, he was just doing a lot. So it made me question, like, are you a liable, credible witness? I don't know. I don't know. But I will say his testimony did put things into perspective about, you know, how the gun got there, how the gun got in the car and stuff like that. But yeah, 7 to 8 bottles of alcohol, y'all. That's a lot. That's a lot of alcohol between the 3 of them. Did that person say that? Oh, no, 6 to 7 bottles between the 3 of them. That's a lot of alcohol. That's a lot. The main reason why I really felt like Tory did it at the very beginning was because he had a history of anger issues. Nobody ever wants to acknowledge that. You think Megan should drop Party for real? Question her past before him. I never trusted him anyway. I don't think he questioned her past. He said he was embarrassed. But again, I don't know. I haven't seen Party be problematic at all, y'all. I think y'all just don't like him because he's black. I really do. I think y'all don't like him because he's black. He hasn't been problematic. Black women accused him of beating on Cash Doll. She had to come out and say, no, he never put his hands on me. The man has feminists tattooed to his stomach. You guys, I really think the only reason why Megan made that statement was because she was trying to get public sympathy. I don't think, that's Rosary, that's what I'm saying. I don't think that he actually feels that way. I don't. I think Megan only said that to get public sympathy. And apparently it didn't work because now y'all don't like this man. And I think she just shouldn't have said anything at all. In my opinion, we're going to see who Party really is moving forward. That's what I would go on. I wouldn't go on what was done or what was said during the trial because, like I said, it was all about trying to win and trying to prove something. But I don't think he actually said that. But we're going to see the type of man he is moving forward, though, because Megan will not live a normal life moving forward. She won't. She will not. Like, the industry that she's in is male-dominated. It's misogynistic. There are going to be people that don't want to work with her simply for the fact that they just don't want to like her. Like, there are still men on the internet right now that still don't want to like Megan just because. So, because she's in a male-dominated industry, there are going to be certain producers that don't want to work with her. There are going to be just certain people that don't want to work with her simply because. So, we will see the type of man Party is in the coming months, coming years. That's how I see it. So, to crucify him to the cross and everything like that now don't make sense. And I won't speak too highly of him. I won't speak too low of him. I'm going to just keep it unbiased and simple. Like I said, we'll see what type of man he is in the coming months. And to be honest, if he wanted to dip out, he probably should have did it before the trial, but he stayed during the trial. Give him some claps for that, right? He stayed during this trial. He been by her side during this entire situation. He could have left her when the whole internet was against her, to be honest. So give him some credit for that. But don't give him too much credit because, like I said, in the coming months, we will see the type of man that he really is. All I'm going to say is leave these women alone and stop pinning them against each other. And that's another thing that I'm seeing is, you know, during this case, it should have never been two women being pinned up against the next. I didn't agree with that either. I did not agree with that. Yeah, we don't know if they still together. You got a point. We don't know if they still together or not. We don't. You right. They could be though. I'ma wish them well though, because I don't want Megan to be alone. She don't got much family, y'all. I don't want her to be alone. She deserves to have somebody there for her. And if it's Party, then it is what it is, and I'll support her 1,000% as long as it's healthy. But yeah, I don't want her to be by herself. Nobody should have to go through this by themselves. That's another thing. But I tell y'all this all the time. A black woman's sexuality is always it's a double standard when it comes to other races of women. It is. Like, I don't know who they thought Megan should be sleeping with. I don't. Like, and then this is another thing. This is the thing that, like, really pissed me off. And this is why me knowing the truth about who she slept with was never going to change my mindset about her being a victim or not. Everybody's out here having sex, y'all. Like, everybody. We live in the culture of sneaky links and situationships. So that means Megan is going to be exempt to that? I don't get that. Like, it's a cultural thing. It's normal, if anything. The only thing I did not like was that she did that to her friend. The only thing I did not like was that she did that to her friend.
The only thing I did not like was that she did that to her friend.
That's it. But everybody's having casual sex. Thank you. We live in a world of entanglements. Like, nobody cares about her having sex. She's a grown-ass woman. Like, what are we doing? I don't understand why this society is so obsessed with sex and nudity. It's natural. Like, it's a natural way of life. It's a natural thing to do. Sex can be a beautiful thing. It could be a messy thing sometimes too when you lack integrity when it comes to your sex life. But it could be a very beautiful thing. It could be pleasurable. It could be all of these things. Like, I don't get that. Right. Like, if she was sleeping with some dusty, I don't get that. I didn't expect for her to sleep with anyone else but men in the industry. That's what all women in the industry do. Because who was it? I think it was somebody did an interview not too long ago where a woman in the industry talked about how, you know, we tend to deal with people that are in the industry because we share the same lifestyle. Like, that just makes sense. Like, Lori Harvey ain't out here sleeping with people that are not in the industry either, or dealing with people that are not in the industry either. I'm not going to speak on Megan's sexuality. Like, the only reason why I cared before was because we wanted to know what happened to her. Like, we needed to know what was the motive behind shooting her. And because Tory's team, they did such a great job with creating reasonable doubt, hell, like, we felt the need to know what happened between her and Kelsey's relationship. It just involved sex. It involved sex. It involved Megan sleeping with, you know, Tory Lanez. But, like, it could have been anything. Hell, Kelsey and them could have had a jealous friendship or envious relationship, whatever. We needed to know because it would have made more sense as to who shot her during that time, during the trial. I went into it, and of course I couldn't show it, but like in my mind, I'm like, oh, Tory did this. This is probably going to be an open and closed case. But then when the trial started, I'm like, okay, this is going on like day 5. We're on day 5 now. And I started like questioning. I'm like, damn, did Kelsey shoot her? Shit, I don't know. Shoot, I'm pretty sure everybody had that type of reaction. And then the further it went on, more reasonable doubt was created. I'm like, well, shoot, I don't know. A lot of people that were reading the transcripts, or a lot of people that were reporting on this consistently, were manipulating what was actually said or what was actually done. Like, even that white guy, that lawyer, he even brought a black woman into one of his segments that he had did, and she was saying the same thing. So I'm like, okay, maybe his reportings are not biased, because you done brought a black woman into your video and she's validating what you're saying. I'm gonna trust what another black woman is saying, seeing how I can't be there.
Hey, listen, more twists than a daytime talk show. I cannot believe what I saw this morning. Walking into court for the Tory Lanez trial is like we have another video bomber. Let me just tell you this. You're not a member of the jury, are you?
No, I'm not.
Okay. You have no interest in this case, and you can be part of the update.
I have no interest in this.
All right, you want to be part of the update?
I do.
Oh my gosh, Juan was there. I nearly lost my shit. I ran out of court. I was like, posted. Quan is there. This is the security guard. This is the only sober individual. He came.
Oh my God. I tell you, we have these family updates every night after we watch your videos.
Quan, the only adult in the room, the only individual who was not piss drunk that night, the driver. We were all expecting his testimony. The prosecution said that we want to put this trial off for 1 week because we've never met Quan.
No.
What do you think about that?
Interesting. Because why was he never interviewed by at least the prosecution?
They couldn't find him.
Okay.
So the prosecution says, hey, we couldn't find him. He's here now. We need a 1 week continuance of this trial. Tory's team goes, wait a second. What do you mean 1 week continuance? How could you possibly need a week? How about a shorter period? They say, no, we need a week. Has been on trial now for 7 days. You see the media attention, the hype around this case. We've already lost 2 jurors. We're down to only 2 alternates. In 1 week, who knows how many jurors will be left? The possibility of the jury being tainted. Ultimately, the decision was made to rest. The defense is rested. Closing arguments are going to happen now. We're going to get this case submitted to the jury for a verdict. A verdict will probably be issued tomorrow or Friday. What's your thoughts?
I think he's going to get off. It's too much reasonable doubt. I came into this believing, looking at the information I did, he did it. After hearing all this and testimonies, I don't know. Was it Kelsey? Was it not? Was it Tory? Was it not? I don't know.
I don't know.
That's another conversation that we need to have. Can you truly trust other black women? I'm thinking, okay, like, he got a black woman in the back of his videos validating, his commentary, his reporting and stuff like that. So I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. But again, it just goes back to what I said previously. There was a lot of manipulation that happened in this trial. The truth really came out back in September of 2020. More truth came out back in 2020 than the trial. And I'm not going to hold it against the black woman. I'm not, because she's saying, she was like, when she came into it, she just knew, like a lot of us, like when we came into the trial, we're like, oh, this is going to be an open and closed case. Tory did it. It's over with. But his team did a good job, like, of creating the reasonable doubt to the point where, again, I started questioning myself. I'm like, did Kelsey do it? Did Kelsey do it? So I don't know. But I wonder if they had access to this audio. I wonder if they had access to the phone recording that Tory did and all of that. Because, and then the meme and all of that. Because I'm like, you have the meme, him responding to the meme. You have the audio. You have the testimony that I haven't heard. I just heard. I don't think enough reasonable doubt was created. And I think that's why the verdict was what it was. Because I'm like, okay, even with me hearing things from the trial and everything like that, I still don't get how reasonable doubt could have been created to the point where there would have been a mistrial or the verdict would have been different. Like, I think they did a great job, in my opinion. I don't know. When I saw that, I started questioning, like, maybe he is reporting it accurately. Then I'm not even gonna bring up the Millie girl. I thought she was legitimate. She not. And then people were like, oh, it's because of the people that you're using. I'm like, well, who else can I use? So then when I saw Armand and Nick at Night go to the courthouse, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna start just watching them and see what they saying. Really looking like they're about to use him as an example. So I don't know, y'all. I could see him getting 10 years. I could see him getting anywhere between 10 to 5. He was convicted on 3 counts, y'all. All 3. And I know because he was first of all, he's a foreigner. That's number one. He's from Canada. I know he was previously a felon because of something he had did. I thought he was on like probation or something like that. So like the state, like everyone is making this about Megan, but the state had other things that they were going after him for. And this shooting with Megan was to help convict him of those other things too. So I don't know, y'all. I could see him getting like 5 to 10 years because he's not even from the U.S. So it's going to be interesting. Yeah, y'all, I did not forget about how he punched August Alsina. When he did that, I was sold that he had done what he had did. I was sold that he had shot her after that August Alsina situation. That's why when the trial started, I'm like, why is this not an open and closed case? I love the whistleblower. I love the whistleblower. When she reported on this situation, let me see if I can find her TikTok video. Because when she reported on this situation, because a lot of people are questioning like, damn, Tory, like, how can you have so much confidence in, how can you carry yourself so arrogantly knowing that you did it, right? And she was saying how narcissism and, what'd she say? Narcissism, slight psychopath, mental illness, how it runs in the black community, how a lot of black men have that. That's why he was so convincing.
I want to talk about sociopaths in the hip hop industry. So as you guys know, Tory Lanez has been found guilty for shooting Meg Thee Stallion. I'm really happy at the verdict. I think the jurors did a great job over deliberations and they ruled correctly. He was found guilty on all 3 charges. I want to highlight something that I've been saying repeatedly to the black community. Narcissism is a huge problem in the African American community. I'm sorry. We're seeing so many of these rappers in the hip hop industry destroy their lives due to their behavior. A lot of people say, well, why would someone that's blessed with so much money and opportunities and fame and stardom destroy their lives in such a manner? When you look at young rappers like Young Thug and, you know, We're looking at Trey Songz. Trey Songz about to go through it too. I see the behavioral patterns in Lil Uzi Vert. I see it in so many of these artists. You guys call it misogyny, but the root of misogyny is narcissism. It is my professional opinion that Tory Lanez is a sociopath. And what does a sociopath mean? Sociopaths have an above the law criminal-minded behavior. They think they're untouchable. They think they're God, and they break the law repeatedly. Okay? And you combine that with money, fame, stardom, it's a recipe for disaster. Tory really thought he was untouchable. Despite his rocky past of violence against men and women, his run-ins with the law, he's violent. And there's a clear history of it. So we're seeing narcissistic sociopaths, psychopaths in the hip hop industry. They keep getting into trouble because they have a behavioral personality disorder. And this is what I want y'all to do during this time. If you see anyone that is pissed off that Tory Lanez is guilty, men and women out here complaining that Tory should have been found not guilty, they too are narcissistic abusers. This is the time for you to be paying attention to your inner circle, your family, your friends. Anyone that agrees with an abuser is an abuser. The women are pick-me's. You'll only see a black female narcissist mad at the fact that Tory Lanez got locked up. She's a narcissist. Cut her off, ladies. I don't care. Cut her off. Black men are pissed right now. They don't like this verdict. I will just say, black women, start reporting domestic violence. Don't be afraid. Step up and speak your voice. It's a new day.
She broke it down from a psychological standpoint, and it was so spot on. It will explain why this man really walks around and had us all convinced that maybe he didn't do it. Like, he over here talking about no weapons formed against me shall prosper, and once you guys see this trial, or once this trial is over, you guys are going to see the truth. And I'm like, damn, that's a lot to say for somebody that's, that's guilty. But that's what narcissism is. They distort the truth and have you convinced that the sky is pink when it's really blue, y'all.